handheld mic because otherwise I'm going to get very, very fresh with the camera guy, and hopefully you will be able to hear me okay with this. If not, please shout, and I'll shout. Okay, good. My name is Amanda. I'm from TES Global. I'm the Application Change Manager for the company. And I'm here today to talk to you about secrets of implementing projects and managing change. Now, before I do that, I actually do have to do an official company plug, although the boss isn't here. So I'm going to tell you who TES is and what we do. Now, essentially, TES is a digital education company. We are everything to the teacher network, and we do our services in 3 areas, and those 3 areas are: we attract, we have something like 70,000 jobs on our site every year, and then once we've got you into your job, we then train you, and we have something like 450 different courses, anything from being a teacher, wanting to start as a teacher, and then through to your continuous professional development. And then once you are within that mix and that whole industry cycle, we then want to retain you. And we have a community, like LinkedIn for teachers, where we have over 7.5 million registered users, where they sit and communicate, bitch about their boss, all that's good stuff. And they also share resources where they upload and download and actually make money from this. And they have actually reached over 81 million pupils worldwide. So that's us. Okay, that's done. Now, I'd like a little bit of audience participation. I appreciate we've just had a very healthy lunch, so I just want to make sure you're still awake. Can I ask here, hands up, who are here from an end user company, please? End users. We got a few. Okay, good. And equally, who are here representing like a consultancy side or a contractor? Okay, good. Excellent. Well, today I'm going to bitch about you both. There we go. We're here to learn. And so when I actually started thinking about this subject, I actually asked the internal TES team what they thought of the 2 subject areas of projects and change. And this is what they came up with. Massive word cloud of stuff, loads and loads of things, and it's actually a massive subject. So what am I going to cram into 20 minutes of this time to tell you something that you may not know? And, microphone's gone down. Okay, good. And what we are going to talk about today is, I could talk about all this sort of stuff. I could talk about requirements. I could talk about all the different methodologies that you can use in order to deliver a project. But equally, you can find that out online or go on a course. So what can I bring to you that's a little bit different? Well, what I can bring to you is the fact that I have been on both sides of the implementation project. I have been an end user. That's how I started my journey back in 2007. Also, I've worked as a contractor, and I've also worked within the consultancy field. And now I'm back again as an end user with a whole load of experience and knowledge. And I beat my people down. Yeah. So I want to share this with you, and now I know who's in the audience. Bit of both. Great. And so what better way, really, is to spend this time telling you these awkward truths that happen when you're going through a project on both sides here. This is what happens. So what better place to start is right at the beginning of a project and at the sales process. Okay. So you may recognize this guy here, absolutely. And, slick guy, sales guy here. And as for the client here with the I roll it now, Veruca Salt, well, okay, so maybe I shouldn't have worn the red dress today. Okay, fine, I accept this. So here, the sales process. This is where you can make and break a project, absolutely from the beginning, before you've even touched a little piece of field or code or whatever you want to do. It's this part here whereby the customer turns around and says, especially if this customer happens to be maybe in finance, and says, yes, we've decided we want to use Salesforce. This is a lovely system. Yes, we love it. And but we want it purely vanilla, straight out of the box. That'd be great. Thank you. And our deadline is like next week. Can you? Yeah, fine, good. And our budget is this big. But don't worry. Here is the sales guy. He'll come to rescue us. Don't worry, madam, don't worry at all. I think you'll find that our consultants are super fine, and they'll point-and-click solution. They'll get you sorted, no problem at all. And you'll find that we can do that lickety-split, and that budget, no problem. Just sign here. And that is how it begins. And that is all true. And so you're hoping during the sales process that someone would have maybe asked a couple of intelligent questions. What is it that you want to do here? What is it you actually want to build? And you're hoping that's going to be the case. If not, certainly after you've signed that contract, you then move into the requirements gathering session. And this happens at the beginning of a project. And you're going to do a big deep dive. Now, it is at this point when, as a good consultant, you would turn around and you would use from your armory a very little word that means an awful, awful lot. And this little word, it brings out the toddler in me. And this word is, why? Why do you want to do this, but why? But why? Why do you want to do that, but why? Don't tell me why. Why, but why, but why? And yes, you do bring out the inner toddler, and this is a good thing, even though your client just thinks, did she not listen to me? I've just said because I want it. I actually fancy, I do actually want the moon on a stick if that's not at all a problem. Thank you very much. And you go, but why do you want that? And then be prepared, if you are a client, that if you turn around and said, but we always do it like this. Oh my God. Be prepared to be shot. This is not the time to rebuild your legacy system that you desperately want to move away from. This is not the time to do it again here. Shake down things. Be prepared to change. And so hopefully now you've got an understanding of what your client may or may not want. And therefore you're now ready to build something. And now we go into the build phase. And it's at this point here that I like to usually kick off, when I was back in the days of consultancy, my projects. I would kick off my projects and I would talk to my clients here and go, this is about you. If you do not get involved in this project, I will build a system that I want, not the one that you might think you're going to get. And it's true. And so when it comes to building, I also like to remind clients of someone who is at the forefront of software development. He absolutely knows what it's about to deliver a Salesforce project, and here it is. Okay. And it's absolutely true. Mick Jagger, Rolling Stones. And essentially, you might not get what you want, but you will get what you need. And this is all about iterative development. And so with this build here, you will notice that as you're building, the expectations of the client from the beginning may start over here. And as they journey through, and it is a journey that we take with Salesforce, that they start to understand what this system and the possibilities can bring to it. And eventually what they get at the end will guarantee will be something completely different. Well, it'll be something different to what they thought they were going to get at the beginning. And that's about that build. And in order to help them through that build, it's quite good to do show and tells. Because it helps you to understand and show to the client what they're about to get. And it's at this point then they start to get involved. If they haven't been involved at the beginning, they certainly will start to get involved as they start seeing it. And then they go, oh, right, now I get this. I understand what this lead is. I understand what account is now. I thought account was something financial, but no, it happens to be a place where a company is. Ah, ding. Good. It's also during this time that other things happen. It's also during this time when clients go, it would be really good if I could change the world. It'd be really good if maybe that thing that I said I didn't really need at the beginning, I actually do need it. It's a bit of a showstopper to your mind. And we now move into the phase that every project manager dreads. Change requests. Change requests are a nightmare. Especially, do you remember when I said at the beginning with the sales process, if the sales process can make or break a project, especially if it is a fixed rate project. Because no client actually understands what fixed means. Because they want the world, that moon on the stick, yeah, hell yeah, I want that. That's definitely going to be mine. Yep, no problem at all. I definitely want that. Oh, but I still wanted it in my timeline. And that tiny little budget I had, yeah, that's still there. But I want everything. try and manage that. And so this is where you have to get your expectations right with your client right from the very beginning. Mr. Client, if you actually want something different, then maybe we can talk about that, and maybe that will cost more money and more time. Okay, good, thank you. So hopefully now you've built something and it's all good. And hopefully now you're going to get to a place where you think, yeah, let's test this. Good. And so you move on to the testing role. And this happens to be the most unloved family member of the implementation cycle from both sides. How many devs do you know who will write something and just be so prima donna, like, well, I've written it. You can test it. It's true. It just seems so beyond them to be able to just do a little bit of a unit test and make sure that thing worked. God. And what is it that the assumption that Salesforce is so easy, it's point and click. Of course it's going to work, of course, yes, of course. And you move it into a UAT sandbox and you try and do regression testing, it all falls over. Oh my God. Don't leave it that your client then finds out that that pick list value didn't work and it hasn't moved over. And also, very embarrassingly, don't always test as a system admin, because of course it's going to work. It's when the client turns around and goes, yeah, I think I had to log in and then do that stuff. What stuff? Can't find it. But hopefully you've got through the testing phase and everything's okay. You now come to the next sort of least favourite family member. It's training. See, I can't even find an exciting photograph for it. Even I can't. And we both fall down, both sides here, both client and consultant. Client spectacularly well as well. And that is, how many times do you walk in as a consultant to deliver the training and find that you're in a room and no one's got a computer? And you'd be lucky to get the internet. Oh, yeah. Equally, if they have actually turned up because they've sent the invites in the first place, then you're on a winner there. But hey, they all think it's a jolly, or they are at least just catching up with their emails. Thanks for turning up. But you can help as a consultant. You can turn around and actually do some really good training materials and also get those people involved right from the beginning so that they know what's coming and really get them excited. So they're going to be there, and maybe actually they'll deliver the training themselves. That would help too. So now you've done the training and now you're ready to deploy. And of course, we know when it comes to deployment, it's as easy as hitting a big red button. Yeah, because it never goes wrong. And so with this, what you have to remember with deployment is that you must have a deployment plan. You really must think about all those manual steps, because it isn't just as easy as pushing a big red button, unfortunately. And as for a client, give the team who are doing this a chance to do this job. They need the time to push it over, and they need the time to do the manual checks and make sure that system is working for you. It might mean that you have to be hands-off. It might mean that you just have to log off for a bit. Let that happen. But hey, we've deployed now. Great. We're now live. Hey. And at this point here, then suddenly you're live. Great. The client has this new little baby of a system. Oh, my God, what am I going to do? Oh. And they start panicking because people are using it. They're logging in. I don't know what to do. Oh, my God. And the consultancy is like going, yeah, babe, that was great. You know, I'm on a new project now. And it was fine, but it's over. Don't call me. And you're left there with this baby going, oh, my God, what am I going to do? So try not to do that. Maybe work in the plan that you're going to have a bit of post-deployment support. Set up a war room or something like that. Make sure that people understand what's going on. And internally, clients have the knowledge inside. So when you go live, you can look after them, because this is the beginning of your journey. Because as soon as people are in it, they want to change things. They want to add stuff. They want to get involved. And with that comes adoption as well. And this will really help. You have to have that involvement. Now, I'm going to make this a little bit real for you, because I'm going to give you an example that I've been living now for nearly the year, which is TES itself. And things went wrong. And things have been getting better. But I'm going to tell you what happened with us. So essentially, TES decided, Salesforce, that sounds nice. Let's have a go. As good as that. And And they just decided, oh, you look nice. Could you do that for us? Brilliant. But we have no understanding at all what Salesforce is. And it'd be nice. Can we just build this? We'll have a little go. Oh, and this little proof of concept, we'll now put this into production and just kind of work that. Oh. What happened was it was incredibly code heavy. We had no proper basis, no foundation. Our system was essentially a slave. It was really poor. And the legacy system that we were trying to move away from, which was really wrapped in cotton wool and very, very clunky, well, hell, we just rebuilt that straight into Salesforce, no problem at all. Hey. This system was not even now-proof, let alone future-proof. So what did we do? We stopped. Oh, God. And we fixed the pain of the people who were already there, because they're the guys who were already going, oh my God, please help me. This isn't working. So we sorted that out. We also got an internal team. They're all ex-consultants. They know what they're doing, lots of experience now. We also got on board a new partner, someone who shared our same values and beliefs when it comes to delivering and best practice and good governance. And together we're now reworking what is there and taking out the bad stuff, putting in the good stuff, going back to real standard values, because you know what? These guys have been doing this for the past 16 years. They kind of have an idea. So why don't you work with the standard? It's okay. We've improved our stakeholder management. It's no longer just the point of a stakeholder going, I want. Sure, no problem, I'll build that for you. Use the word why a lot. Find out what they want and why. Challenge why they want it. And now we're also doing continuous delivery as well. A little bit at a time, keeping them interested. So I've got to wrap this up. I'm going to try and now tell you what this all means and why we're doing this. So here you go. Here's another word cloud as I started with. And these are the things that come out for me when I start thinking about this whole journey when you do a project from either side of the implementation coin. And that is this. I really think that Salesforce is a good tool. I really think it can help make change within a business. But you have to be very careful. This is something that you don't just do an implementation and then run off. Certainly if you're the end user. It is something that is an investment for a very, very long time. And you have to be engaged, and you have to have your users engaged right from the beginning and all the way through. Because if you don't, you'll end up something that you'll just throw away in a few years' time. So there's massive adoption here, there's massive engagement here. But also, think about what you're doing and how long you're doing this for. It is not just about the initial project. Don't just do something that you have to just get through because this deadline's going to peak because it happens to be your mother's birthday or whatever, or that happens to be a budget that you want to finish because it's the end of the financial year. This is going on for a long time because that impact that you will put by doing that project in that time will affect everybody, not just the person who is implementing it and the stress they go through for doing that, but the end users who are going to end up using this and going, I hate it, and you'll be chucking it out. Use the why. Think about what you're doing and why you're doing this, and do it by stage, and it really will help you. Use people who understand the soul of Salesforce. And that sounds a little bit corny, but if you don't get it, then you'll build something horrid. You really will. It will work. Be realistic about it as well. And you can make change. Thank you. Yeah. The question was, are there any magic bullets for dealing with blockers? If only I was allowed to use bullets. Oh. Blockers come in all kinds of different places, I suppose. Blockers can be internal, whereby you just don't know what you want. That can be an immediate blocker. It's happening right now in TES. They don't quite know what they want. But they want you to build something. Well, what? So there's a blocker by that. If you haven't sorted out your own process, you don't know what to do. Then there comes a blocker whereby the client has asked for the world, the moon on the stick thing. Well, that becomes a blocker because how the hell are you going to build that? And therefore try and chunk it down and give the whole why thing. Just keep going back. Why do you want this? Try and find a simple solution. Maybe start them off with a simple solution and then build on it if possible. A lot of people just go, but I need the world. Yeah, but why? Any other blocker things? Yeah, thank you. Anything else? Yeah. Oh, another great question. How do you deal with a company that hasn't got a clue about strategy, but they want to go somewhere? That's like going for a drive, isn't it? Without a car. You know what? That generally is difficult. And this is where businesses generally try. Tez is a perfect example. Just do something, but you don't know what you want. Well, I'm not going to just build something. Certainly not going to build something crazy coded. You could try maybe with starting off with something. Just use the standard bits and bobs. Look, here's accounts, here's contacts, here's opportunities. Just have a little play, see where that works for you. And that might help them with ideas and things. But generally, you do need the business to be involved. They have to have some idea. Someone's got to have a spark about this. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're going to spend a lot of money going nowhere. Yeah. What about senior management who don't have any idea about the product and are also too scared about it? You know, and that's very real. Senior management just go, well, Salesforce will be the answer to it. Yes, off you go. Maybe wow them with some dashboards. Senior management love dashboards, pretty pictures. Oh my God! And suddenly, it's true. And as soon as they see this, they suddenly think it's real. There's something there that is tangible. So why don't you turn around and go, look, here is your sales team. Here is what they are actually delivering. And then they've got something to go back to the board. And now they've bought in. Honestly, it's a pretty picture every time. Sorry, that was if they're trying to overcome some pain. Yes, absolutely. And then try and find out what that is. There could be something their own boss is beating down on their head and going, look, you need to deliver X, Y, and Z. Well, how do you do that? It might be the fact you need to just track some activities in the org to define why they need X amount of people to do said job. If it's all about, and again, it's pretty picture, dashboard time. Deliver this, get some data, show a pretty picture, board loves it, signs it off. Hello. Right, there are so many stakeholders involved when it comes to implementing any old system, frankly. You know, they're the bean counters who just want to make sure it's the smallest thing possible. And then there are the end users who want the world because they want it to work for them. And there's the management in the middle who want to get the data out. And there is that whole mixture. And everyone has slightly different things they want from it. And you have to get it right from like the beginning and make sure you are looking after all of those stakeholders. Anything else? If you were to like kind of stab me and go, what is your methodology? Well, I've done Prince and I've done Agile, and Salesforce does lean very much with the whole Agile piece. But Prince allows you to have that governance, the element of, look, let's find out some stuff at the beginning. Let's get the idea of an overall what they want to achieve, then put it into bite-sized chunks. This is where the Agile piece comes in. Get things signed off at the beginning, like, hey, this is what we want to try and achieve here. And then deliver, and just keep going. And these show and tells really help people to get bought into what you're trying to show and give to them. You know, that helps.